Yeah, that's right. I won the lottery. Next week, I'm going to claim the $1.337 billion. I'm going to take the cash payout of $550 million. And I wanted to take this time to share with you, having been being a retired financial advisor, I've put a lot of thought into how I'm going to take it and what I'm going to use it for. And the issue that I'm facing is I'm 77 years old. Next month, I'll be 78. So how am I going to receive this $550 million? And then how am I going to invest it so that it benefits not only me and Nita, but also our grandchildren for the rest of our lives? I wish I lived in a non-tax state.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
As I said, I'm a retired financial advisor. I'm a CFP, a CHFC, and CLU. I've advised people for years of how to use their inheritance, their substantial sums. Never had to deal with $550 million, but I've put a lot of thought into it, and I think the first thing that I'm going to do is basically claim that that there are more than one winner, that ticket belonged to both Nita and I, as well as our son and our 3 grandchildren. So that basically means there's 5 winners, okay? And so now we're dealing not with $550 million, we're dealing with $110 million apiece. And how are we going to deal with that so that we have the best life in front of us? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is probably going to surprise you. With the 3 grandchildren, I'm going to advise them to buy a paid-up life insurance, whole life insurance policy for $5 million apiece. That's going to cost them about $1 million to get a $5 million life insurance policy. Why do I want to do that? Well, I want to take advantage of the fact that you can borrow money from a life insurance policy, and then in essence, you're paying interest to yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn all 5 of these people, including myself, into a professional investor, and thus we're going to have a LLC that's going to hold that life insurance policy. Holding it in an LLC, what we're going to be doing is paying our interest to ourselves, and because it's in an LLC, we'll be able to deduct that interest as an expense within the LLC. So now if they want to buy a house, they're not going to go get a mortgage. They're going to borrow the money from their paid-up life insurance policy, and as I say, then pay themselves the interest on it. If they want to buy a car, and for some reason, rather than paying cash, because they're going to have plenty of cash, as I'll show you, they can use this as an instrument that will take care of them. I had a situation where my daughter died when she was 40 years of age. She did have some life insurance, and it made a huge difference in her husband and her son's lives. So I am a strong believer in life insurance, and I'll talk more about how to use life insurance in future videos. But let's stick to this issue right now that I've got this $550 million that I've got to deal with over the next 10 years of my life, and then they for the rest of their life. So what am I going to do as their financial advisor? And that's one of the things I'm going to do. I'm going to say, I'm bringing this money to you, and I'm going to include you in it, but you have to sign an agreement that as long as I'm live, I'm going to manage that money for you, and we're going to work together so that you learn from me and learn from other people so that you, after I pass away, know how to manage that money for yourself. So I'm going to start with what I call my required reading list. And here's some of the books that I'm going to require them to read, because I think it's essential that you, first of all, understand the financial and geopolitical world that you live in. So the first book you're going to read is The Accidental Superpower, and then you'll follow up with another book by Peter Zion. And as you can see, here's a list of the books. I'm going to include in the link of this description everything I'm going to discuss with you here in a PDF so that you can go through what I'm talking about. You can see the 7 books that I'm going to recommend that my grandchildren and my son, I know my son has already read most of them. Then I'm going to say, you need to be watching some movies. You need to subscribe to Netflix and get to where you can get access to the movie The Big Short, Margin Call, Too Big to Fail, 99 Homes, and The Inside Job. These are all movies that I've watched that I recognize made a difference for me to understand the markets that I'm investing in and how the markets work and what the history of the stock market was or is, and how I can benefit from it in making good investment decisions. The next thing I'm going to advise them to do is invest in people. It's people, not companies. It's people that change the world we live in. And that is the mantra of my investment strategy. Do not invest in the present, invest in the future. And people are how you want to invest. It's much like I wanted to, in 1998, I wanted to invest in Bill Gates, not in Microsoft. I wanted to invest in Steve Jobs, not Apple. I want to invest in Jeff Bezos, not Amazon. I want to invest in the people who are smarter than me and have the ambition and the accessibility of funds to build the best companies in the world. So I want to invest in people. Here is a group of people that I think you should familiarize yourself with and you should invest in. And I'll get into more detail on that. Now the issue I have to face with my son and my grandchildren is how are they going to allocate the $100 million they now have that I'm going to insist they invest in their future. Well, I'm going to allocate it according to the people and where I think the change in the world is coming and where I think this money can grow to their best benefit. I'm going to start with allocating 50% of the portfolio in Apple, Microsoft, Google, NVIDIA, Meta, and Amazon. I believe these are the companies that are going to take us into the new age. And the new age is going to be powered by artificial intelligence and machine learning and quantum computing. What are these functions going to be dealing with? They're going to be dealing with the data that these companies have accumulated over the last 40 years and then copied from the preceding 2,000 years, so that it is the sum total of all the learnings that any of us have had, the activities that all of us have, that then can be put into artificial intelligence, machine learning, and quantum computing to help us make better decisions, to help us have more efficient lives, to make our economy stronger, and to manage the data that we have. So these are the companies that I want 50% of my and my family's $100 million invested in. Then I want to invest them in the future. And this is in what I believe is the biggest change in the world that is going to happen as a result of the biggest event in the world that has happened in my 77 years, and that was the coronavirus, and the recognition that our healthcare system is broken, and if we don't fix it, we're all going to die in a very short order. Now, they have been able to rush to the problem and create a vaccine that is slowing down this pandemic, but we still haven't got it wrestled to the ground and controlled. So this is going to be the opportunity. And that opportunity, from my reading, has told me that it's going to be in the area of genome sequencing, genome editing, and genome therapy. And I have identified the companies that I believe are going to be the leaders of that by first identifying the people that are the leaders in it. So we as a group, me as the advisor, are going to invest 2% of our 100 million each into Beam, CRISPR, Caribou, Editas, Nutella, and Illumina. You can go to Seeking Alpha and look at each of these tickers and learn as much as you can about these stocks if you so wish to. But that's how I'm going to advise my people to invest their part of their $100,000. Then I want to invest additional 2% in Abcelera, Grinko, and Schrodinger. These are pharma artificial intelligence companies. These are companies that work to help big pharma make quicker diagnoses and find quicker therapies by the use of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and genome sequencing, again, to improve the pharmaceutical end of our medical revolution. Then I want to invest others in what I'm categorizing as tech. And that basically means Palantir, Desktop Metals, and DDD. Those are 3D printing companies. Palantir is a software company. Then I want to invest in Oracle. And yes, Homer, I'm going to allocate about $2 million to Tesla, and that's just for you. And you see the other stocks. Then I want to invest an additional 10% or $10 million in dividend stocks in real estate. Why do I want to do that? I want to generate some ongoing income for Nita and I, as well as for my son and our grandchildren, and this will all be held within an LLC, so that income will come in, and then what I'm going to ask them to do is to open up what is called a solo Roth IRA. Now, this is a function of their LLC, and as a result of that solo Roth IRA, they will each be able to contribute $58,000 a year into that Roth IRA. And my grandchildren are basically from the age of 18 to 22. So I'm showing you here at 22, and this has to be earned income. It can't be passive, so I'm going to force them to go get a job that at some point generates some income. Now, we'll have to get an advice from a lawyer and a CPA. They may be able to do it if they declare themselves as a professional investor, and then the dividends that come from that these investments and the investments I just showed you, that may qualify them as earned income rather than passive income. Again, I need the advice of a CPA and the best financial advisor that I can find and the best lawyer that I can find. But I want you to look at this chart, and what you're going to see at 22, that's the oldest of my grandchildren. If she puts aside $58,000 a year, when she turns 65, she's going to have $10 million. $10 million if she then leaves it and lets it continue to grow. And this is based on a return of 7%. And that would be basically investing in the S&P 500. But if she will have 20 million if that grows until she's, I guess it would be somewhere in her 80s. No, at 69. If, though, she gets a little bit more aggressive like her grandfather and invests in the QQQs, she'll get about a 13%. And so rather than 20 million, she'll have 159 million. And then if she really gets aggressive and stays invested in my Apple, Google, and my genome sequencing stocks, that 58,000 a year will turn into 29,586 million. That's my plan for how me and my family are going to invest our winnings, our lump sum of $550 million apiece. Now, as I said earlier in the video, I wish I lived in Florida rather than Alabama. Alabama has a state income tax of 10%. That would have saved me about $50 million. But nonetheless, there I go. That's the plan that I have put together for my family. Again, I want to emphasize that I am going to find a flat fee advisors. That is, I'm not going to go to an advisor and he says, yes, I'll help you manage your money, or a lawyer or a CPA, and will charge you a percentage. No, sir, you will not. No, ma'am, you will not. We will negotiate a flat annual fee that you will advise me and I will pay you for. So, now let's address the elephant in the room. Did I really win the $1.337 billion lottery winnings of last week? No, I did not. But I, like you, and probably everybody in the United States at least that knew about it, asked themselves or asked their spouse or their significant other, what if? What if we did win with that? How would we deal with it? What would we do with it? I wanted to share with you my experience, my knowledge, my understanding of the investment markets, so that if you, in fact, are the winner from Illinois or traveling through Illinois, that's how I would suggest you approach it. If you want me to be your advisor, just go into the description. You'll find a way to get in touch with me. Go to Best of Us Investors, and there on the website you can find my email address and my phone number, and I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. This is a fantasy. It is a dream, but I hope you recognize this is not financial advice. This is financial knowledge. What I want you to do is take a nugget here, a nugget there. You might say, what is he talking about buying a life insurance policy to borrow from? What is he talking about investing in people rather than companies? What is he talking about when he says genome sequencing and genome editing and making it possible for people to live longer, healthier lives? What is that all about? That's what I want you to know. That's what I want you to say, I knew about a Roth IRA where you can put in $6,000, but what's a solo Roth 401k that you can put $58,000 a year in? What the hell's he talking about? That's what I hope you come away from this video and say, okay, so he fibbed to us. He really didn't win that lottery, but I'm glad he kind of sucked me in here and clickbaited me so that I learned something today, and now I can become a better investor. This is my objective. Number one, to make you a better investor. Number two, to teach you how to learn to keep more of what you make. And number three, to help you build family wealth that you can pass on to your heirs. And the way I think I can do that best is bring you into my community. The first step into my community is to like the video. The second step is to subscribe to the channel. And the third step is to come to Best of Us Investors and come to our Discord where we talk, where we share our information, where we share our knowledge, and maybe I can help make you a better investor. All right, I'll talk to you again tomorrow. I hope you are the one who won the lottery, because it wasn't me. When I do these videos, I work from a script, and the script is very detailed as to what charts I'm going to show you and what pictures I'm going to show you. And I'd like to share this with you, because I think it gives you the numbers, the detail. And so I'm going to put a link to my, we'll just call it my lottery script. I'll put it in the description and you can get a PDF on it.